Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mark Tory from Defense Metals. Mark, you're one of the leading rare earth companies in the world. Can you explain to our audience what makes you so competitive?
Tracy, it's a number of different factors. We've got a great deposit. Mother Nature's blessed us with the fact that we've got great mineralisation, which enables it to concentrate up to a 50% concentrate grade, which means that we don't have to build as big a hydromet plant. So the economics that come around that we did through the pre-feasibility study last year demonstrate that it's very robust. When we talk about volumes that are coming out of the project from the pre-feasibility study, it puts it as one of the global leaders in relation to about 7 to 8% of global production. We're producing NdPr that goes into permanent magnets, which are essential for electric vehicles, wind turbines, robotics, etc. When we look at projects in North America, we're the only one with a reserve outside of MP Materials who's actually in operation, and that's important because it demonstrates the fact that it's economically viable. And we're moving towards doing a full feasibility study and getting this into production as quickly as possible.
In the investor talk, you were discussing strategic partnerships and milestones as you're moving forward, and you just recently signed a memorandum of understanding with the Hanwha Corporation. Can you give us some update on that MOU, please?
Yeah, so Hanwha are one of the top 5 corporations in South Korea. They're currently one of 2 remaining bidders for the submarine contract in Canada. We signed an MOU with them in relation to looking to do a strategic partnership around offtake, around technical advice, and also looking for potential investment both at an equity level and a project level. So where we sit currently with that is we're having ongoing discussions with them around how that might come about.
And your focus on strategic partnerships, can you tell us a little bit more about the Defense Metals, strategy?
Yeah, so we're not relying on just one strategic partner. So we've got a lot of tentacles out there talking to a number of different parties around strategic relationships. And when I look at strategic relationships, I look at it in 3 levels: one, a technical level; one, offtake; and another one being financial. And when we talk about all 3 of those, we look at not just private, but we're looking at governments, and not just the Canadian government, but global governments. So we're in numerous discussions, which I obviously can't say too much about here at the moment.
Well, we're certainly overdue for an update with you, Mark, because you've had some, I think, very significant news. I don't fully understand the pilot flotation test program that you announced with SGS with your Wicheeda project. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that's going to play out?
Yeah, this is a pilot plant, a large-scale pilot plant that's being done just to confirm the flow sheet that we had in our pre-feasibility study, to make sure that as we're going into our full feasibility study, that there's no changes that need to be made, or that we've finalised everything that needs to be done in relation to a flow sheet for the full design of both the beneficiation, the hydromet, and the separation side of the business.
So since we spoke last, obviously you're proceeding aggressively with your drill program. Can you give us any updates on that?
Yeah, we're continuing to do drilling up on site. We've been doing geotechnical drilling. We've also been doing some infill drilling so that we can look to increase that resource and reserve up on site, to look at increasing our mine life that we had in our pre-feasibility study. And we're obviously just waiting for results and assay results to be able to put that announcement out to the public.
Well, it sounds to me like you've got a lot of balls in the air right now. Is there anything you can share with us that we should be looking forward to in the upcoming quarter?
Well, look, as I said, we're continuing to do the work up on site. We're looking to continue our ongoing discussions with the strategic partners that I've mentioned. And yeah, look, we're continuing to do everything we need to do on the environmental side and our baseline studies to make sure that we try and keep on our timeline that we've got in relation to getting to production as quickly as possible.
Of course, Defense Metals got you to move all the way from around the other side of the earth to come and be the CEO for Defense Metals. I know you're building quite a team. Can you comment a little further about the team you're building?
Oh, look, I'm very, very happy with the team that we've got here at Defense Metals. We've got Michelle Tanguay, who's our VP Environment and Social Performance. She's been in the industry in Canada for over 30 years, has a really good reputation with local communities, as well as an understanding of all of the regulations and legal side of it. Got David Baker on board as our CFO. He's had lots of experience in relation to fundraising, worked with the Robert Friedlands of the world, did the funding for Oyo Tolgoi. We've got Robin Jones, who's come on as VP Projects. He also moved halfway around the globe to come to this project because he saw how good the project was. And I'd worked with Robin before, so it's great to have him on board as well. And we obviously got one of the best metallurgists in the world working on our project in John Good in Toronto. So for a small junior team, I think we punch well and truly above our weight.
For those of you interested in finding out more about the Defense Metals team or the milestones that Defense Metals continues to achieve in a timely manner, please go to the following website. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks, Tracy.